What if I told you that by the time this video ends, you'll know why two people earning the exact same salary can end up with completely different lives, one struggling to retire and the other quietly building a six-figure investment portfolio? Here's the crazy part. It has almost nothing to do with intelligence, luck, or even income. In fact, somewhere in America right now, an ordinary person is investing just $100 this month, and that tiny decision could eventually be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. Meanwhile, someone else earning twice as much is unknowingly making a mistake that could cost them the same amount. Most people believe becoming wealthy starts with making more money. But what if I told you that's the biggest financial lie millions of people believe? Today, I'm going to show you why the first $10,000 is secretly the hardest money you'll ever build, why almost everyone quits investing at exactly the wrong moment, and the one investing habit that quietly separates future millionaires from everyone else. But there's one warning you need to hear before you invest your very first dollar, because ignoring it could destroy years of progress in a single week. Stay with me until the end, because the final lesson is the exact mindset shift that changes the way successful investors think forever. Now imagine two friends graduating from college on the same day. They both find similar jobs, earn similar salaries, drive similar cars, and even live in similar apartments. On paper, their lives look almost identical, but one small decision begins creating a gap between them that grows larger every single year. The first friend keeps telling himself he'll start investing after getting a raise, then another raise, then after paying off his credit card, then after buying a better car. Somehow, 5 years disappear, and he still hasn't invested a single dollar. The second friend decides something different. Instead of waiting for the perfect moment, he commits to investing just $100 every month, no matter how busy life becomes. The first month feels meaningless. The second month feels no different. Even after an entire year, the results don't seem impressive. That's the exact point where most beginners lose patience and walk away. But what they don't realize is that the biggest rewards in investing are almost always invisible at the beginning. Think about planting a tiny seed. You don't wake up the next morning expecting a giant tree. For weeks, it looks like almost nothing is happening, but beneath the surface, the roots are growing stronger every single day. Investing works exactly the same way. The first stage isn't about making huge profits. It's about building momentum. And here's what almost nobody tells beginners. The first $10,000 often feels painfully slow because you're doing almost all the work yourself. Your monthly contributions are responsible for nearly all of your progress. But once your investments become large enough, something incredible begins happening. Your money starts earning money. Then those earnings begin earning even more money. Suddenly, you're no longer building your portfolio alone. Your portfolio starts helping build itself. That's the moment where investing transforms from a habit into a wealth-building machine. But here's the mistake that destroys this process for millions of people every single year. The moment the market falls, fear takes over. News channels predict financial disasters. Social media tells everyone to panic. Friends start saying investing is too risky. Most beginners sell because they believe they're protecting their money, when in reality they're locking in losses and walking away just before the recovery begins. In a moment, I'll explain why market downturns are often the biggest opportunity long-term investors ever get, and why understanding this one idea could completely change the way you look at every future. Now, here's the part that almost nobody explains correctly. Most people think investing is about finding the perfect stock, buying at the perfect time, or predicting the next company that will explode in value. That's exactly why they fail before they even begin. The truth is, the greatest investors in history didn't build wealth by making one lucky decision. They built wealth by making hundreds of small, disciplined decisions over many years. So before we talk about where to invest your first $100, we need to make sure your financial foundation is strong enough to survive real life. Imagine investing consistently for 2 years, watching your portfolio slowly grow, and then suddenly your car breaks down, you lose your job, or an unexpected medical bill lands in your mailbox. Without an emergency fund, you have only one choice. You sell your investments, often when the market is already down. In just a few days, years of patience can disappear. That's why smart investors don't just build portfolios, they build protection. Before your first investment, create a small emergency fund that gives you breathing room when life gets unpredictable. It doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to be enough to stop temporary problems from becoming permanent financial setbacks. Once that's done, your $100 a month stops feeling like another bill and starts becoming a monthly appointment with your future. Here's a simple trick that changes everything. Never wait until the end of the month to invest whatever is left over, because for most people, nothing is left over. Instead, invest first and spend what's left. Automate the transfer so the money leaves your account before you even think about spending it. Suddenly, investing is no longer based on motivation, it's based on habit. And habits are what create wealth. But here's where the story becomes even more interesting. Once your money is automatically invested every month, you no longer need to predict the market. You don't have to worry about whether prices are high or low today. By investing the same amount every month, you naturally buy more shares when prices fall and fewer shares when prices rise. This strategy, known as dollar cost averaging, removes emotion from investing and replaces it with consistency. That's why experienced investors don't panic every time the market drops. In fact, many of them quietly become excited because lower prices mean they can buy more investments with the same $100. Think about that for a second. When your favorite phone, shoes, or television goes on sale, you get excited. But when investments go on sale, most people become afraid. That emotional mistake quietly costs millions of people enormous amounts of future wealth. And here's something even more surprising. The market